Right now, someone weaker than you is winning. They don't know more than you. They aren't smarter, stronger, or more deserving. But they move through the world like a blade through silk, smooth, unhesitating, leaving no room for doubt. They speak as if every word is law. They act as if the world owes them everything. And the world, like a servant, obeys. Meanwhile, you hesitate. You second-guess. You wait for permission, for validation, for some cosmic sign that it's your turn. You've been taught that competence earns respect, that fairness prevails, that if you just work hard enough, the universe will reward you. But here's the brutal truth. The universe doesn't care. History is written by those who seize the pen, not those who wait for it to be handed to them. This is the game you didn't realize you were playing. The silent war of perception where confidence isn't just an asset, it's the ultimate weapon. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw power not as something you earn, but something you project, something you take by making others believe it was always yours. The difference between the ruler and the ruled isn't strength, it's theater. It's the unshakable illusion of inevitability. Think of the last time you saw someone command a room without saying a word. The way their silence felt heavier than another's shouting. The way their gaze made others shrink. That wasn't magic. That was strategy. That was the art of dangerous confidence. The kind that doesn't ask, doesn't apologize, doesn't flinch. The kind that rewrites reality by sheer force of will. This isn't about arrogance. It's about understanding the hidden rules of the game. The world doesn't respond to what you are. It responds to what you appear to be. And if you master that illusion, you won't just play the game, you'll rewrite it in your favor. So ask yourself, how much longer will you stand in the shadows while lesser men take what should be yours? Confidence is not a feeling. It is a decision, a performance, a deliberate act of psychological warfare against the doubts of others and against your own. Machiavelli's most ruthless insight was this: power does not reside in truth, but in perception. The prince who seems strong is strong. The man who acts as if he belongs is never questioned. The moment you realize this, the game changes. You are no longer a beggar at the feast of life, waiting for scraps. You become the host, the one who sets the table, who decides who eats and who watches. At the heart of dangerous confidence lies the principle of unwavering certainty. Not because you are always right, but because hesitation is death. The world is a mirror. It reflects back the energy you project. If you flinch, others will see weakness. If you pause, they will smell fear. But if you move with the cold precision of a man who expects obedience, they will give it to you. This is not deception. It is mastery. The lion does not convince the gazelle of its strength. It knows it, and the gazelle flees. You must become the lion in every room you enter. Another core theme is the illusion of inevitability. The most powerful people in history did not win because they were the best, but because they made their victory seem fated. Caesar crossed the Rubicon not as a rebel, but as a force of nature. Napoleon did not ask for an empire, he announced it. When you speak, act, or demand, do so with the quiet certainty of a man who has already won. The mind of the crowd is weak. It bows to those who do not waver. Finally, there is the concept of controlled aggression. Dangerous confidence is not blind recklessness. It is calculated dominance. Machiavelli warned that it is better to be feared than loved, but the real lesson is subtler. It is better to be unpredictable than predictable. The moment others believe they can anticipate you, they will test you. So you must keep them off balance. A sharp word where they expect kindness. Silence where they expect explanation. A smile where they expect rage. This is how you command respect, not by being liked, but by being unreadable. This is the architecture of true power. Not brute force, not empty charm, but the unshakable presence of a man who knows his own worth and forces the world to agree. There is an ancient tale of two wolves battling within a man, one representing fear, the other confidence. But the story is often misunderstood. The wolf that wins is not the stronger one, but the one the man chooses to feed. Machiavelli's genius was recognizing that this battle is not fought in the heart, but in the theater of perception. Consider the myth of Medusa, whose gaze turned men to stone. The power was not in her monstrous form, but in the unbreakable certainty of her curse. Those who looked upon her did not die from her venom, but from their own frozen terror. The moment they believed her myth, they were already defeated. So too does dangerous confidence work. It paralyzes opposition before the first move is even made. History whispers another lesson through the rise of Cesare Borgia, Machiavelli's real-life muse. When Borgia marched into a new territory, he did not send envoys to negotiate terms. He arrived with trumpets blaring, banners high, and the unspoken declaration that resistance was futile. The cities that surrendered without bloodshed were spared. Those that hesitated were made examples. But here lies the hidden truth. Borgia's army was often outnumbered. His true weapon was the myth of his invincibility, a myth he crafted through sheer audacity. The moment people believed he could not be stopped, he no longer needed to prove it. His confidence became a self-fulfilling prophecy, bending reality to his will. Even nature obeys this principle. Watch a storm roll across the plains. It does not apologize for its violence, nor does it justify its destruction. It simply is. The trees bend not because the wind is stronger, but because the storm does not negotiate. This is the essence of dangerous confidence. The removal of all hesitation, the embrace of inevitability. The world has always belonged to those who act as if it were already theirs. The Romans did not ask for an empire, they took one. The great conquerors did not wait for permission, they wrote history with their actions. And the moment you internalize this, you step into the same current that carried them, not through luck, but through the deliberate cultivation of an unshakable presence. The difference between those who command rooms and those who shrink in them comes down to a single, brutal truth. Confidence is a currency, and hesitation bankrupts you. This is not theory. It is the unspoken law of every boardroom, battlefield, and back-alley power struggle. Begin with the body, for it is the first liar or truth-teller you possess. Stand as if your spine were forged from iron. Move as if space rearranges itself for your convenience. Speak as if your words carve reality into existence. The world has no way to verify your worth except through these signals. Why would you ever hand it evidence to doubt you? Watch a seasoned CEO enter a meeting late. Observe how the room adjusts to his rhythm, not the other way around. This is not arrogance. It is the physics of power in action. Language is your next weapon. Eliminate the vocabulary of uncertainty from your mouth forever. I think becomes I know. Maybe becomes this is how it will be. Hesitation in speech is surrender in slow motion. Each am and are a tiny rebellion against your own authority. Study how world leaders answer questions. They pause, but never stammer. They choose words like a sculptor chooses chisels, each strike deliberate. When you speak from a place of unshakable conviction, something alchemical occurs. People stop questioning whether you're right and start questioning whether they were wrong. This is how narratives are hijacked, how underdogs become overlords. But dangerous confidence demands more than posture and speech. It requires ruthless action. The moment opportunity appears, you must strike with the precision of a surgeon and the finality of a guillotine. Most men wait for perfect conditions. Legends create them. Recall how Rockefeller secured oil dominance not by waiting for prices to stabilize, but by crashing them deliberately to annihilate competitors. Your life's trajectory will be decided in these critical junctures where others plead for fairness while you enforce your will. The rule is simple. Whoever acts first, acts last. Now the final metamorphosis, you must become unreactive. The man who flinches at insults, scrambles to explain himself, or seeks validation has already lost. Power resides in the silent spaces between provocations and responses. When Caesar was handed a false letter detailing Pompey's plots against him, he didn't rage or plead. He crossed the Rubicon and changed history. Your greatest leverage is the ability to remain unmoved while others emotionally hemorrhage around you. Let them writhe in their need for approval while you cultivate the stillness of a predator that knows the hunt always ends in its favor. This is your awakening. The world is not a meritocracy. It is a stage where the bold rewrite scripts to their liking while the worthy sit waiting for applause that never comes. From this moment forward, you have two choices. Continue kneeling at the altar of false humility, or rise wearing the armor of calculated audacity. The gates of power do not recognize petitions. They open only to those who kick them down. So I ask you now, with the full weight of history behind the question, how long will you remain a spectator in your own life when the tools of conquest are already in your hands? The Rubicon awaits. Cross it.